in Czech, yeah?
Yep.
Alright. Takže já jsem Žanet a pocházím z České republiky. My name is Žaneta and I come from Czech Republic. Hlavní město Česka je Praha. The capital city of Czech Republic is Prague. A je to jedno z nejkrásnějších měst v Evropě. It's one of the most beautiful cities in Europe. A rozhodně ho musíte navštívit, jakmile budete mít příležitost navštívit Evropu. And you should definitely visit it when you have a chance to visit Europe. Yeah, I think that's it.
Wow.
I can't really think of anything else, sorry.
Và bây giờ thì chúng ta hãy cùng tìm hiểu về hoàn cảnh ra đời của nhà hát thành phố Hồ Con Rùa, phố đi bộ Hoàn Kiếm, khu di tích Hoàng Thành Thăng Long. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Long Nguyen Channel and welcome to another episode of Expats in Saigon. And today, of course, we're gonna have another interesting guest. Who she is? She is a Vietnamese girl born and raised in Czech Republic. And she has been back to Vietnam for 5 years already and she loves the country a lot. So let's get to know about our special guest today. Please welcome Johnny from Czech Republic.
Ahoj lidi, ahoj Longu, jak se máte?
I guess you spoke like Czech language,
yes, that was
right?
the Czech language.
Okay.
I don't know what to say.
What does this mean? What does it mean?
Hey everyone, hey Long, how are you guys? Just that.
That's so
Very
cool.
simple.
Right. Is it actually an easy language to learn?
No, Czech language is one of the most difficult languages in the world because the phonetics and the rules, the grammar rules are really difficult to learn.
But I don't mind to give it a try, you know, to see whether I am good at a new language or not. Okay. All right. So back to our main topic today, right? Okay. So, like I said, earlier, that I'm really interested in learning to know more about your story. You know, as a Vietnamese girl born and raised in Czech Republic, but we had a conversation before the video that you said that you did not really know much about Vietnam, your motherland so far, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah. So talking about your family first, like your parents, when did they come to Czech Republic?
So my parents have been living in Czech Republic since early 1980s. They first came there as a exchange students.
Oh, I see.
And they met there, fall in love, they got married, and I was born there. After that, of course.
In our conversation before, you said you did not really have a Vietnamese name. So why is that?
Oh yeah, sure. Because I was born during the era when there was not many foreigners, immigrants. I was basically the only Asian child at school, and my parents were worried that I will not fit in due to my exotic looks, and kids will bully me because of my exotic, strange, hard to pronounce name. So they gave me Žaneta.
So Žaneta is a full name, right?
It's my full name, yes. Žaneta is actually my mom's Czech name because her Vietnamese name is Giang.
That's a nice name though.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, I'll tell her.
Yeah. But you know, it's not offensive at all if I just call you Johnny, right? Because it's easier for me to pronounce.
Oh no,
Johnny.
not at all. Because that's actually a shortcut to my name, Žaneta.
Okay. Right. So based on what you just said, right? Born and raised in Czech Republic,
yes.
And you live in a Vietnamese family, but you have not really get exposure with Vietnamese culture within the family.
Yes,
not really,
true.
Right?
Yes, not really, because growing up, I was I spent my early years with a nanny who's a Czech lady, and she taught me the language, the culture. I would spend, like after school activities with her because my parents were so busy
I see.
working. So, like, my first 10 years of life was just, like with Czech people, Czech culture.
Yeah. Have you ever wanted to actually know about your identity, about your root, Vietnam, and how it really means to you as a Vietnamese girl, but don't speak Vietnamese at home?
Well, that's a very interesting question because I didn't identify myself as a Vietnamese person when I was younger. I just didn't, feel any connection with the country because, I spoke to my dad in Czech because he's like really westernized, and my mom spoke Vietnamese, but it was just a basic exchange of words. I've never got exposed to the Vietnamese culture that deep until I met my now husband.
Yep.
He's from Vietnam. He's from the
Bắc Giang.
north. Yeah, Bắc Giang. Yeah. And we have been dating for 8 years. Before
Wow.
we got married. It was
So
like
long time.
mostly and it was mostly a long distance relationship.
Wow.
Yeah. I met him when I was in my last year of high school, and after that I went to study abroad in America and
Yes.
in the United Kingdom, so we didn't really see each other that much. It's just recently we've been like spending so much time together because
Wow.
we're married now.
Yeah. Well, I really admire you guys. I mean, people who don't mind, being a long distance relationship, right?
Oh my god,
And
trust me,
maintain it
I
for
was
8 years.
really struggling. It was a huge struggle, and I'm really glad that we both, overcame this period of time and
Yeah.
we're still together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about your experience as a daughter-in-law in a typical Vietnamese family in the north of Vietnam.
You sure you don't want to skip that part? No, just kidding.
Yeah. What is it like being
Oh,
a
well,
daughter-in-law?
to be honest, quite challenging. Because I knew how Vietnamese families are traditional. Like my own family is also traditional, but in its own way, because each family is different, right?
Yes.
But my husband's family
Very
is
traditional.
they're like very traditional. They even have some customs that I've never heard about, and it's just like it's specific to the region where he comes from.
Yeah.
So that was really challenging for me. Even like their dialect,
know.
the dialect is difficult
Yes.
to catch up.
Yeah.
There are things I'm not used to. For example, relatives asking too personal questions,
Yeah.
like interrogating you.
Yeah.
I'm not really used to that even until now.
Yeah.
Whenever we go back to visit his family in the north, they would ask me like, "Are you pregnant?
Yeah.
How much salary do I earn?
Yeah.
Where do I work? How much salary?"
Well, that is just like.
Does my husband give me his salary? For example, this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, from a cultural perspective, yeah.
Yeah.
If we look at that, it's just like different story. Like, it's not because the Vietnamese people are like curious or
That's true.
talkative. It's just like
Yes.
the way that they care about you. But like for you,
That's true.
a person who new to a new culture, like you haven't got really enough time to actually get that, right?
Yes,
So it still take time.
actually when I first encountered this, I felt really annoyed.
Yes.
But I've been here living here for 5 years, so
Yeah.
nothing really surprises me
Yeah.
anymore, and I accepted that.
Yeah.
It's the way how people care about you. It's like nothing vicious, nothing like ill manner.
Yeah.
So it's okay. I know that maybe my own manners do annoy people as well.
Okay.
If they're like not used to myself.
Yeah. So how have you enjoyed living in Vietnam so far? What is the most favorite things and what is the least favorite thing about Vietnam? Can you just share with the
I was
audience?
expecting that question.
Yeah.
So let me think, because there were so many things that annoy me
Yes.
when I first came, but like those just slowly disappeared from my mind. Like with every day I'm living here, because I'm really enjoying my time here in Vietnam,
Yes.
especially during the COVID time, because I know how many people are really upset they cannot travel outside of the country. Like my friends in Europe, I know they're in a hardcore lockdown. And sometimes I feel really guilty for posting all these holiday pics, of me lying on the beach, or going out with friends, drinking coffee at the coffee shops, because most of the shops are closed. In
But I think
Europe.
anyway, you should not think about it in that negative way. Why not, a very positive way, that people, when they see those pictures, they think, okay, I'm so happy because my daughter is safe in Vietnam, and it's sort of
True. That's
yeah,
true.
that's good.
You're right about
Yes,
it. So that's why I really I'm having a great time here in Vietnam, because like I really admire Vietnam for how they fight against COVID pandemic. What else do I enjoy? Well, I enjoy the food.
Yeah.
The local food. It's like it's the best food.
No
it's the
doubt,
best,
right?
What else do I love? I just love the weather, because I've been spending my whole life in a colder climate.
Yes.
So I really
Enjoy the tropical
appreciate.
climate.
Yes, I really appreciate the sun, and it really like brings out the positive vibe out of me, because I've realized, I've noticed that people from the colder climates are more they don't really feel happy, what I mean. Like whenever I visit Czech Republic, I've just noticed like people's expression, they're like not very happy with their life. And here in Vietnam, you always see people smiling, laughing, I love that.
Okay.
I used to be a very negative person when I was growing up. I was very moody and not really, open-minded. And after I came to Vietnam, I've changed my attitude. I think like my stay in Vietnam has really like upgraded me to the next level, like as a better person.
Well, what you just said just immediately reminds me of the conversation between me and Taya, the Russian girl. She said quite the same thing. Like she said that Vietnam had changed a lot, in a good way.
Yeah, that's true. I think I'm a better person just because I moved to Vietnam. If I stayed, like back in Europe, I may just be like the same Johnny, the one with the always negative views on life,
Currently, what do you do for your living here in Vietnam?
I work in a travel company that is based in Ho Chi Minh City, but it's actually a Polish company that brings tourists from
Poland?
Mostly from Poland, but also from the other European countries to Vietnam. And we were very successful in doing that before COVID. And now after COVID, we just switched to import-export business.
Do you have any plans for the next couple of years in Vietnam? Any long-term plan for your living here in Vietnam?
Well, I definitely plan to extend my little family, because I'm currently a mom to a 2.5 years old girl.
That's lovely.
And I'm definitely planning to have like more. Because I just that has also changed me, because before I didn't like kids at all.
Really?
But like after having my daughter, I just realized I love kids. So I would love to be surrounded by my own,
So you are sort of like family-oriented person.
Yeah,
right?
I think I am now. And of course, like I would still love to be involved in the travel, tourism business in general, because I'm very proud of my origins as a Vietnamese person, and I think that more people should come and visit Vietnam, and not only Vietnam but the whole Southeast Asian region, because there's so much to offer, so much to see, and yeah, and I really hope that the people's visits to Asia will be also like life-changing and eye-opening,
Yeah.
like to me.
So to the audience who actually have shared the same case as you, like they are Vietnamese, you know, born abroad, yeah,
Yes.
like in America
Like
or
Viet
yeah,
Kieu,
Viet Kieu, yeah.
Yeah.
So would you like to share something to them about your experience here in Vietnam?
Yeah, sure. So when I've decided to come to Vietnam, my own family wasn't really happy about it because they left Vietnam when it was still, you know, a developing country, very poor. It was after war, and they would never wanted their children to, you know, like to experience the same as they did. And my parents' plan was always to, you know, for their children to live better lives than them when they were younger and not to struggle anymore. So when I told my parents that I want to move to Vietnam, work in Vietnam for a couple of years, because I wasn't really sure at that time if I want to stay here permanently or not. Because yeah, my parents were right. They said that I may not fit in because I'm not used to this and that. I may get food poisoning all the time, and I don't know what else. And
But then the reality is different, right? In a positive
yes,
way.
In a positive way,
Yeah.
of course. You know, I was kind of, you know, like caught in between. I wasn't really sure of what to do, and I almost listened to them. I already got the tickets back to Chad,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
but then I just thought maybe it's time to grow up, not to always like
Yes.
listen to what your parents say, although they mean it well.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to do it my way.
Yeah.
So I've decided to stay.
Yes. Well, I think like 5 years of living in Vietnam is like the obvious evidence that
Yes,
Yeah.
that's one of the evidence.
yes.
You know, and also my parents were worried that because my Vietnamese wasn't really good at that time. It's still not good, but better than then. They were worried I won't find a job. And I had to prove them wrong. The first thing I did was to sign up for this TESOL course to get the teaching certificate, so I can find myself a job as an English teacher, because I couldn't think of any other
Better jobs.
Yeah, profession for myself, because I don't speak Vietnamese very well at that
Yeah.
time, and I don't think that somebody will hire me just because, you know, I only speak English. So I thought, okay, be an English teacher.
Yes.
So that was really tough. That was really rough, and I would advise my other fellow Viet Kieu not to only rely on being an English teacher, because that's a really competitive industry to start with. Because as a person of Asian origin, you have not much chances to score a good job. Even if you were born and raised in an English-speaking country, they will always give a chance to somebody else who's like Caucasian. So I learned the hard way of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually true. You know, it's sad but true.
But you know, like everybody has their start.
Right.
You know, like everybody has to start
Right.
from the bottom.
Yeah.
So that was my first job, and it really sucked.
Yeah. But
For
in
me.
in conclusion, like, is it worth coming back to Vietnam?
It is.
It is,
definitely.
right?
Yeah, because I didn't stop at that. Like, it didn't really stop me from you know, like
Yeah.
purchasing my goals. I still wanted to stay in Vietnam, but I couldn't find a job. So I just browsed through these job sites, and there was this this ad on what was it, like in an international medical clinic. So I signed up for it.
All right.
I got a job.
Yes.
And that was my first gig in Vietnam.
Yeah.
And it was a
Yeah.
good experience for me because that was like a gate
Yeah.
for me to enter
Yeah.
the Vietnamese working environment. I got to know my colleagues. I had to learn Vietnamese because I was really like dealing with Vietnamese patients
Yeah,
as well.
that's the part that I'm so curious about because even the conversation before the video, I have not really spoken with you in Vietnamese.
Okay.
You know what? You are actually the second Viet girl that I interview in this video series,
yeah.
right? And last time with the guy from America, like Vietnamese American, and he speak quite good Vietnamese. And of course, like
that must be better than me.
Okay.
No, I'm really shy.
it doesn't matter whether you speak better than him or not. It's just like how willing you are, how eager you are to speak the language. You know?
Well, I am
Okay.
in a very like extreme conditions. I would.
Extreme conditions.
If I go somewhere, I would still prefer to speak English because that's how I
I
feel
know,
most
yeah, more,
comfortable.
yeah.
I'm not really confident speaking Vietnamese,
Vietnamese.
because when I first arrived here,
Okay.
I've been made fun of my
Come on.
Vietnamese. Not really, like people were actually making fun of me, and I felt really hurt by that.
You know,
And
I have no idea why, when talking to any foreigner before, when talking about their Vietnamese learning experience, they would say the same thing. Oh my God, people laughed at me when I tried to speak Vietnamese. But don't look at that way because it just like demotivate yourself to learn the language, right?
You're right.
I'm a big supporter for you right now.
Thank you so
right?
much.
So, can you say something in Vietnamese to demonstrate your Vietnamese proficiency to people watching the video?
Okay, I cannot just make up a sentence out of my mind, so
Alright.
you have to like give me some leads. Like tell me
come
something.
on.
I'm gonna say
Okay, a short introduction about yourself in Vietnamese.
that. Okay, I think I can do that.
Yeah.
I've done it several times.
Alright.
Xin chào các bạn. Mình tên là Janetta. Mình đến từ Cộng hòa Séc.
Yeah.
Và, mình sống ở Việt Nam 5 năm rồi.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, I love your accent. It's kind of a little bit mixed, between like southern accent and northern accent.
I
That's so
heard
cool.
that. I heard it before.
Yeah.
When thank you.
That's not too bad.
I'm just like, sorry. I don't sound like an idiot. Like in the normal setting,
Come on, that's good.
I would be more fluent. But I'm
Yeah.
just like, I know that people are watching,
You
so that's
did
why
a
I'm like,
great
damn.
job. Come on.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Okay. All right. So I think it's pretty much what I wanted to ask you, and thank you so much for spending time and sharing your story with me and the people watching.
Thank
the
you so
series.
much.
Yeah. I wish you a great, experience later in Vietnam, and the more you live in the country, and the more achievement, the more happiness you have here. Yeah, because anyway, this is your motherland, right?
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, people-
I'm really happy to be back here,
Yes.
and I'm looking forward to more years here.
Yes.
Until they kick me out of here for
Come on.
some problems.
No
I don't
one
know,
is
like-
gonna kick you out. 'Cause, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And guys, that's it for our episode today with Jenny, and I hope you enjoyed her very amazing stories.
Stay safe, guys.
Yes, stay safe during this time. And we are looking forward to seeing you guys again in our next episodes of the series Expats in Saigon. Bye!
Ahoy!
Like I said earlier in the video with Taya, the girls from Russia, I don't mind trying, I don't mind giving it a try. So it's time for me to learn Czech language. Yeah!
And you will rock it.
Yeah,
No.
so teach me some random words and expressions.
Okay, you tell me something and I'm gonna...
Okay, just something really basic like hello, how are you? Where are you from? Do you like this or that?
Okay, so hello, how are you? Yeah.
Oh, I love
Let's-
you. Like I love you in Czech
I
Republic.
love you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with that.
Yes, okay.
So we say milujte.
Say it again for sure.
Milujte.
Me,
Mi, lu,
lu,
yi,
yi,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Me.
Yay.
But now, how I can combine those
Okay,
together?
again. It's like I'm teaching my daughter,
okay.
like speaking. Mi,
Me,
lu,
lu,
yi,
yi,
yeah.
ja. Me, lu, yi, ja.
Yeah.
Me,
There you
me,
go.
lu, yi, ja.
Yep.
So I love you.
Right. Yes. That's I love you.
Okay.
And if you want to say hi to
Okay.
someone, you just say ahoy.
Ahoy. Yep, that's
Ahoy,
easy. Yeah,
yes.
I think that this is the easiest one. Yeah. Ahoy.
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 Yes.
Yep. And
That's typical Czech.
like hi, right?
Yeah, that's
And
hi.
thank you.
Or thank you. Děkuji. Děkuji.
Děkuji.
J.
Yeah.
Ku.
Ku.
Yi.
Děkuji.
Yes. There you go.
Děkuji. Děkuji.
Or if you want to say thanks, like short and quick, you say yik. Yike.
Díky.
Yes, there you go.
Díky.
Yep.
Díky. Okay, like thanks, right?
Yes, that's thanks.
Okay, so díky for watching this video. See you next time. How to say?
Uvidíme se příště.
There's no way. Bye.
Bye.
That's so
That was
fun.
cool. Yeah.